I will be the one to interview Susan Newell about innovation.
I'm a member of a research unit called ICON, which is Innovation, Knowledge and Organizational Networking. So we're interested in understanding innovation processes. And innovation is defined as anything that is new to the organization. So it might not be new out there in the bigger world, but for an organization, it's doing something new and different to what they've done before. A lot of researchers at universities study innovation, study what new things organizations are doing. Much of that is based on kind of quantitative, how much companies are spending on research and development, how many patents are being produced and so on. So there's a lot of innovation studies that are very much looking at numbers. We think that those are important studies, but we also think it's very important to understand what is actually happening through the process of innovation. And the only way to do that is to undertake very qualitative, in-depth, longitudinal studies of companies as they move through the process of innovation, whether that's innovation in terms of the adoption of new technology, innovation in products, innovation in services, innovations in organizational structures. And so our studies are very focused on talking to people over time. Because one of the things is if you talk to people after the innovation process has happened, so once an enterprise system is in and you try and say to people, well, what happened? How was it successful? You'll get people reconstructing stories in ways that appear to be very rational. So you need to actually study them over time as they're actually going through the process.
Second, focusing on talking people over time, because when you took people after innovation process and tell them how it is successful, you get people construct stories. So you need to study them over time as it's actually going to process. And now, let's talk about change. Let's talk about the three managing change. Change force. Force that produce differences in the form of quality or condition of our organization over time. Resistance force. Force that support the existing state of condition in organization. Resistance to change. Opposition to change resulting from self-interest, misunderstanding, and distrust or general intolerance for change. Fourth is under communicating the vision. Senior management undercuts the vision to have the way to convey the new vision. The fifth, not removing obstacles to new vision. 6, systematically planning for and creating short-term. Back to you, Joy and Trish.
On the other hand, which is re-engineering jobs and designing adaptive organization, here is Joy Belu's reporting.
Thanks, Trish. Job design. The number, kind, and variety of tasks that individual workers perform in doing their jobs. Job specialization. Occurs when a job is composed of a small part of a larger task or process. Advantage of specialized jobs. Easy to learn and specialized jobs are economical. Disadvantage. Being so easy to learn, they quickly become boring. It is not motivating or particularly satisfying for employees. Job rotation. Periodically moving workers from one specialized job to another to give them more variety and the opportunity to use different skills. Job enrichment. Attempts to overcome the deficiencies in specialized work by increasing the number of tasks and by giving workers the authority and control to make meaningful decisions about their works. Job characteristics model is an approach to job redesign that seeks to formulate jobs in ways that motivate workers and lead to positive work outcomes. Internal motivation is motivation that comes from the job itself rather than outside rewards such as a raise or praise from the boss. 3 psychological states of internal motivation. Workers must experience the work as meaningful that they must view their job as being important. Workers must experience responsibility for the work outcomes. 3. Workers must have knowledge of results. 5 core job characteristics. variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. 5 job redesign techniques. Combining tasks, natural work units, establishing client relation, vertical loading, and opening feedback channels. Designing organizational process. Mechanic organizations are characterized by specialized jobs and responsibilities, precisely defined and changing roles, and a rigid chain of command based on centralized authority and vertical communication. Organic organization are characterized by broadly defined jobs and responsibility, loosely defined, frequently changing roles, and decentralized authority and horizontal communication based on task knowledge. Organizational process is the collection of activities that takes place within an organization to transform inputs into outputs that customers value. Re-engineering, the fundamental rethinking and radical design of business process to achieve dramatic improvements in critical, contemporary measures of performance, such as cost, quality, service, and speed. Task interdependence, the extent to which collective action is required to complete an entire piece of work. 3 kinds of task interdependence: full interdependence, sequential interdependence, and reciprocal interdependence. 2. Empowerment, feelings of intrinsic motivation in which workers perceive their work to have impact and meaning and perceive themselves to be competent and capable of self-determination. Empowering workers means permanently passing decision-making authority and responsibility from managers to workers by giving them the information and resources they need to make and carry out good decisions. Behavioral informality refers to workplace situations characterized by spontaneity, casualness, and interpersonal familiarity. Behavioral formality refers to workplace situations characterized by routines and regimens, specific rules about how to behave, and impersonal detachment. Open office system. Offices in which the physical barriers that separate workers have been removed in order to increase communication and interaction. Shared spaces. Spaces used by and open to all employees. Private spaces. Spaces used by and open to just one employee. Back to you, Trish.
Last chapter of our report, Managing Teams, is to be reported by Irene.
Teams. What is a team? Teams is a set of people with complementary skills who holds a common purpose. There are 4 advantages of teams. 1 is increased customer satisfaction, it increases job satisfaction, it improves product and service quality, it increases speed and efficiency when designing and manufacturing the goods. And there are 3 advantages of teams. The 3 is group think, initially high turnover, and social linking. There are 2 kinds of teams. The first is the autonomy that Ida mentioned. The second is special kinds of teams. Under the autonomy, there are 5 kinds of teams. First is traditional work group. Second, employee involvement team. Third, semi-autonomous work group, self-managing team, and the last is self-designing team. Under the special kinds of teams, there are cross-functional team, virtual team, and the project team. There are 4 big teams characteristics. 1 is norms. What is norms? Norms is formally agreed on standard and regulate team behavior. There's cohesiveness, the extent to which team's members are attracted to team and motivated to remain in team. Team size. Very small or very large teams may not perform as well as moderately sized teams. And thus, team conflict. Conflict and disagreement inevitable in most teams. There are 6 stages of team development. 1 is forming, storming, norming, denorming, and destorming, and deforming. Enhancing work team's effectiveness. First, structural accommodation. It's the ability to change organizational structures, policies, and practices in order to meet the goals. Second, bureaucratic immunity. The ability to make change without first getting approval from managers to other parts of an organization. Team training. There are three kinds of team training. First is interpersonal skills, second, skill-based training, and third is game sharing. That's all. Back to you.
No, it's not sleeping. We are also not sleeping. Thank you for watching. I am Risha Pobio and I am Jordan. And we are Miami.
Yeah, let me show you something. Girls, you ready? Let's go. 머리부터 발끝까지 hot issue.
Okay na. Umalis na si Mark. Okay na lang yung katawan. Okay na?
So, innovation is anything new in organization